Hi everyone and welcome. My name is Sangeeta Anjana Kumar, and otherwise in this channel I do artwork and I talk about like technology and I talk about things that have to do with my life. So in this episode we're going to be talking about how to be a Skillshare teacher. I have been a Skillshare teacher for a few years now, and earlier I was teaching in a college. I was teaching media, but as per my my professional life, I'm a writer and I'm an editor and I'm a photographer and I've been a journalist, like a film journalist. And once I got married, I moved my work home. Like I set up a small studio and I was running my freelance work from there. So a little later, I started looking at options for passive income and I started creating online courses. So today's episode is about how to be a Skillshare teacher. It's not so simple, but it's also very basic. So I'll run you through the steps. There are going to be chapters, so if you want to skip ahead, you're welcome to do so. There'll be timestamps right there below. So first step is making an account. Then, of course, check out some class. There are a lot of resources on Skillshare on how to teach. Skillshare themselves has like this teaching training program. I think they have it twice a year. So the first time I did my course, I didn't do it with the Teach on Skillshare like setup, and I had a few challenges that I ran into. So this video is really to help you with that, because what happens is when you enroll to their program, like if their program is not happening and you still want to start teaching, then this becomes like your resource to help. But if you can enroll in their program, that's really good, because they have a guide that works with you, emails you, tells you to do this. And I did that and it was really cool. Again, like number one, like I mentioned, you have to create an account. And then on the corner, there's a button that says teach. So start a class. So it's that easy to start a class. But then the process of starting the class is what I'm really going to take you through. Step number 2 is choose a topic. Now, this is easier said than done. So just because you create content or create YouTube courses or video courses, whatever you create, doesn't mean you can cut and paste that into Skillshare. It's very important to create it for their format, because they have a very particular format. So choosing a topic is very important. I would say stick to something that you're an expert at, that you don't need to pretend, or you don't need to really talk about with a prompter. You can talk very freely about it. Probably the most important things that a lot of people skip, but this is another thing that I learned in the Skillshare Academy, where they teach you how to do a class successfully, is plan. And your course needs planning. Anything you do in life needs planning, really. And sometimes you plan forward or you plan backward. Like, you know what you want to communicate to your students, and then you work backwards and you break all your points down into lessons. So that's really important to do when you're planning anything, but especially in the case of Skillshare, planning your class is very important. Outlining and planning your class is really creating a skeleton for you, and it's a step that I would not tell anyone to skip. Number 4 is write. So I don't know about you, but I'm a writer. I need to have a base script. Even for this video, I have a base script. It may be just a skeleton of a script, it may be an outline, but I have written words down to help me figure out where and what I'm going to say. It helps having a script so you know what you want to say. Many times when you're working with a mentor, they will ask you for the script. They will ask you for a visual breakdown. A script comes in handy when you want to break down the shots you're planning. Again, it comes down to planning. If planning is the skeleton, then I would say writing a script is your muscles. Now, a lot of people don't talk about this, and definitely it isn't something that is commonly done in Skillshare. If you see in Skillshare, the set is not very grand. Everyone's class is sometimes in some corner, sometimes in some next to some window light. I feel this is very important. That's why I'm sharing it with you in this, like, in its own section. It's set. Now you can see behind I have flowers, curtain, a little robot which I don't think you can recognize. I have another set of flowers, some light behind me, and elements. Now I'm shooting this where everything is blurred behind, but you know that there is something in behind me, right? So likewise, this is very important in your course. Like, I learned this, not just looking at Skillshare, but also looking at courses like platforms like Domestika. They're so excellent when it comes to their sets. So I changed my whole home to create like a wall where I would then develop a set according to the theme of my videos. Like, I'm going to be planning a storybook writing class soon, and in that class I will have my little, like, my first character that I wrote in my first book was a frog. So I have already thought of this frog that I'm going to be using in my set for my class, which I'm going to be doing, I don't know when, but I thought about it and I was like, okay, this frog is going to go on my set, because I know and understand that this frog looks exactly like, hello. So this frog looks exactly like my frog in my story. So when I'm talking about my story, obviously I would want characters that remind my students what I'm talking about, right? So putting details like this is very important. Like, for example, if you're doing if you're teaching some art, when you do a top angle, don't have a plain, in filmmaking it's called mise en scène, right? So I'm saying it wrong, but you have elements in your screen. So remember that that's also a part of set. It's also a part of your scenes. So it's very important to give a little attention, not all your attention, but give a little attention to what goes into your class and the set of, whether I'm going to have a backlight, whether I'm going to have 2 sets of flowers. Like, I'm not into flowers, but I have been told that flowers make videos look very nice. So I got a bunch of flowers to just add some life into my scene. Otherwise I would be, talking in a blank screen, right? But these elements make it very interesting. So that is a little bit of what I would suggest. That of course these are just suggestions. You don't have to take them, but these are suggestions that I have learned, which I'm sharing, and hope it adds some value into your life. So give a little attention to the set. I promise you it will make a huge difference to your quality. Mic, camera, light, and of course set. So if I was supposed to write in my equipment list of what I need, I would say 1 light, 1 backlight, 1 front light, 1 main light, source light, 1 mic, batteries or whatever, SD card that goes with it, and my camera device. So like right now I'm shooting with the iPhone 14 Pro Max, so I don't need my camera, my SD card, all that. I'm just shooting like that. So this is my equipment list. So depending on what equipment you have, it will change. So it's very important to make a list of your equipment and know, okay, this is the equipment. Like, for example, if you're, again, coming back to art, if you're doing an art class, you know that you cannot just do a 1 camera setup. You have to do a top angle with a C stand holding up your camera, or 2 mics maybe, or a backup mic. I don't know what your need will be. Like, when I'm doing my art videos, I have 2 lights in the bottom to light up my hands because it goes really dark there. So the lights are behind. They have 2 lights to light up my hand, and I have a main source light to light up my face. So in that shoot, I would have 4 lights, right? And like a mic. So you have to have a list of your equipment. This is not to give anybody. This is just for you. And trust me, when you start doing that, even if it is for a Skillshare class, it spills over into your other content. Like my YouTube videos, I don't know if you think so, but I feel like my YouTube videos, since I started doing Skillshare, have gotten better and better in terms of quality. Because now I'm thinking about things like set and equipment lists, and this is what I need. Otherwise, it was very disorganized. Number 7 is shoot. Shoot is basically from the moment you hit record to the moment you finish recording. Skillshare always tells you to record your content and then in the end record your intro, your talking head. Sometimes what happens is, this is a very important tip, sometimes what happens is what you want to sum up in your course, you realize that only after you finished your main lessons. So don't shoot your talking head in the beginning. Shoot your lessons, the meat of your course first, and then shoot your intro and outro, the end of it, in the end to sum up your whole lesson. That helps a lot. Another tip I would like to add, for example, I'm using like a cordless mic and I'm shooting on the phone. So now when I'm shooting, I need to sync those two things. It's just a small bonus tip, but like when I want to sync things, if I have a mic and if I have another mic and if I have a camera, if I have another camera, what I do to mark it, I clap and then I continue shooting. So when I'm editing, which is the next section, I can see the wave of the really loud clap on all the devices. So the video will show a long clap, the mic will show a long clap, another camera will show a long clap. So when I'm syncing all the multiple cameras, it becomes a marker for me. A lot of people know this, a lot of people don't know this. If you did know this, great. If you knew this, move on to the next point. Now we come to editing. I just gave you a tip about marking and lining up your audio to those marks. This really helps when you're editing, because normally in Skillshare you might not only use one camera, you may use multiple cameras. Editing, I mean, of course, use your different editing softwares are there. I would say, if you can help it, edit on the desktop or your Mac, because classes can get complicated because you have multiple lessons, multiple edits. And then we're going to move on to graphics, which is of course a part of editing, but it's very important even in your YouTube videos to have graphics. If you see some of the best videos, even on YouTube, have graphics. Graphics really lead your audience to understand what you're talking about and help them divide things in chapters. And I guess the brain is that way. Another element of your editing is music. Now, I would say don't empower like music. Don't let your music empower the edit. But having a little music is also fun, because sometimes it gets boring to just have your voice going on and on like that. So having a little music to complement that is fun. Also, it's very important as you're editing to have cutaways, or basically B-rolls going over your voice, because again you need to break the monotony of, like I'm going to do right now, break the monotony and put another clip, so the person has a break, their eyes get a break and they don't fall asleep watching your video. If you're still awake, yay! We have just a few more points to go. So the next step is uploading your project, exporting it in the format. Now in Skillshare you have multiple projects, so like lessons, right? So you have your talking head, you have lesson 1, lesson 2, lesson 3. If you have 5 lessons, 7 lessons, 10 lessons, so you will have to export each file separately and upload it. When you upload it, it's not instant that it goes public. Every course is vetted by the Skillshare team. So they take about 24 hours or 48 hours to go through your course, and they see if there are any red flags like content or audio problems or video problems. Hopefully, if you followed my steps really well and your quality is fantastic and your content is fantastic, then you're good to go. Sometimes they come back with feedback saying, oh, can you change this? Can you add this? Like there was one project, one class that I did where they asked me to add an extra lesson to explain a few technical aspects. So I nicely added a little more and then added that, and they were very happy and my class was approved. When you become a Skillshare teacher, do not think, or do not be so arrogant to think that your class will be approved instantly. when I joined Skillshare, it was a very humbling experience for me, because I was not just rejected in my first class, but I was also, I got, what do you call those? Like warnings. Like I got basically strikes because I made a mistake and I uploaded 2 classes within a week. You're not allowed to do that. I didn't know this. I hadn't gone through the documentation. You can only upload 1 class per week, and it's not Monday to like Sunday night. It has to be literally the next week. I would say give it a gap of 10 days, because you'll also need time to promote your class. But Skillshare is very strict, and so don't take them lightly. It's not, like I said, it was a very humbling experience. Sometimes they give you feedback, sometimes they wait a few days and then they approve. Like my last class, since now I know the format, got approved like within, I was very scared. Every time you upload a video class to Skillshare, it's very scary, because you're like, will Enrique send me an email? Because Enrique, I don't know if Enrique is just this like everybody is called Enrique, but Enrique's mails are very scary, because they tell you that your class has been rejected or you've got a strike. So like Enrique has become like Gabbar in my life. Like whenever I do a Skillshare class, I'm like, Enrique, don't email me. Enrique, don't email me. And then when Enrique did not email me, I was like, yes, I didn't get an email from Enrique. I mean, like I'm sure there are other people also in Skillshare, like the company, but Enrique seems to be handling my cases. So that is about uploading your class on Skillshare. A quick note though, like I said, it was a humbling experience. Be open to feedback. Getting feedback, as I'm realizing in life, it's not easy sometimes, but it's so important to improve, because firstly, I am not the best content creator in the world. There are 1,000 people better than me. And if it happens that someone is being generous with their feedback, they're being generous to kind of speak into your life, take it like gold. And that is the lesson that I've learned in the past 5 years, where when someone gives you feedback, someone said, I think Bobby in a church once said, feedback is the breakfast of champions. So I would say take feedback like that. Be open to getting feedback and learn from the mistakes that you've made. And last but not least, once your class is approved and Enrique has not emailed, or no, you haven't got an email or a strike or anything, once it's gone public, only then promote it. Do not, again, I made a mistake. I promoted my class before it got approved. It didn't get approved, and then I had to take all those things down from social media. There are many ways of promoting. You can blog it, you can put it in forums, you can even pay and promote your class. So that is the 10 things that you can take away from this to help you become a Skillshare teacher. If you want me to do more videos like this, please leave a comment. I will be more than happy to answer your questions. And if I get lots of questions, then I may do a new, like another video about this. If you're curious about like what I earn, I can also do another video about this. But I'll just give you a disclaimer. The more classes you get, the more you earn. If you can't just do one class and think you're going to become a millionaire. I'm not a millionaire, and I have like 4 classes. But it is very important that you keep doing classes. People do classes every week. People do classes every 10 days. I don't do so much. I think I've done 2 classes a year, because I do a lot of production for my classes. So it takes a little time for me. But yes, I do have a class that's coming up on children's book story, picture book writing. I'm going to be taking people through my process, but I planned this like a month ago, and I've been just churning that. I finally got a format down, so maybe this week or next week I'll start planning it and then writing a script. It's fun. If you like teaching and if you like media and you like both, which is what I do, then it's super fun to do something like this. I would say if you want more questions, please reach out. I'll be so happy to help you with this. Till then, happy learning and happy experimenting with different styles. I hope this helped you. I hope this added value to your life. And thank you for watching. And if you want more content like this, let me know in the comments. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. Thank you for watching, and I will catch you in the next video. Bye. Bye.